Hi, welcome. It's time for another town hall and what am I calling this? Campaign update with me, Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, or Susan Buchser for short. Thank you for stopping by. So today is Sunday. It's now almost 2 weeks after the election. And at this point on Tuesday, I think Trump's sentencing is going to happen, maybe. We're going to find out. But what I will say is that all the ballots that will be counted or should be counted have now been seen or received by the election divisions in every single county. So at this point, there should be no new ones coming in. And they are simply there and need to be counted. Now, as I found out, mine is not going to be counted in West Virginia. Why exactly? I mean, I understand it, but it's actually thievery. It's treason, and it's lying. It's intimidation. It's everything. So they're not counting mine because I'm not registered to vote. And apparently, because I canceled my registration like more than a year ago, and I didn't renew it, and I didn't tell them I wanted to vote. Walking in the door, providing ID that proves I'm a citizen and that proves that I'm living at a new address, that's not enough. And then staying there for like an hour and placing my vote, that's not enough to say I want my vote counted, apparently, in West Virginia. That doesn't mean a thing. So apparently, because I'm not registered, because that's what it comes down to, it's the fact that I'm not registered, they're not going to count my vote. They're not. So, I'm a U.S. citizen, and my vote that I cast on election day in West Virginia is not being counted. What law did I break that West Virginia has the right to not count my vote? This is treason. It's unconstitutional, and everyone surrounding that whole concept of not counting citizens' votes needs to be arrested. They need to be tried for treason. This is unacceptable, not only for me, but anyone else like me in any state in our union. Unacceptable. West Virginia, it's unacceptable. Mr. Secretary of State, it's unacceptable. Mr. County Clerk, it's unacceptable. No, no, no. You have not heard the end of it from me. That's all I can say. I am not tolerating this. I am a U.S. citizen. I provided my passport. Your people were not interested in it, and they gave it back to me. They had my driver's license for some time. They gave that eventually back to me. They had me vote. They counted my votes. They knew what I voted, and they decided they didn't want my vote to be counted. Shame on you. Shame on you. You have violated so many federal laws. It's unheard of. So, I'm sorry. This is not the end. It's the beginning. Yeah. So, I'm wondering what's going to happen. I mean, apparently Trump has been proven guilty. Now, if anybody's vote should not be counted, supposedly it's his. But, what can I say? Our country doesn't, I guess it's female, that's the only thing I can say. It must be because I'm a female. That's the only, I can't figure it out. But anyway, so let's see, let's see what happens on Tuesday. But so far, the media has actually been calling the results of the election. So truthfully, government agencies need to come forward and call the election. But technically for president, we're not going to find out because we actually don't vote directly for president. We vote for who we want as president, and then electors are chosen by the states, and then those electors will make an election on December 17th. Those results will go into envelopes and then be read at the beginning of January when Congress reconvenes, and they will be read then, and then we'll know at the beginning of January who is the next president of the United States, to be truthful. This is technically how it works. I know the media wants to say, oh, Trump is this and that, but truthfully, the media is not the government. No. They might get information from the government, yes, but they're not the government. Not everything is a leak either. There's something called press releases from the government that gives us the information. So, yeah, we're not done. That's all I can say. It's not so much that I really want to be president, because as a lot of you know, it's not really my goal. My goal is to just have a fair country and use logic and common sense and have a fair country, which we don't have right now, and make our country a better place for all of its citizens, not just for the few. So my goal is exactly what it sounds like, because this is unacceptable that they are not counting citizens' ballots, citizens' votes. This cannot be. This is just absurd. So, yeah, it's about fairness, and it's about locking up bad people at this point. Before I wasn't really thinking about locking up people, but I guess it comes down to that. They're just bad people who, no matter how many times you send them an email or how many times you comment on their texts and their, not texts, their posts and stuff, they just are not willing to be legal about things. And this is just unacceptable. This is my USA is a fair USA. So I don't know. Unacceptable. So anyways, I'm going around the country right now with my RV and thanking people who've helped me, and you, all of you who voted for me, I thank you. I really appreciate it. And also if you unregistered at the last minute, I thank you for that too. You're probably like me. Your vote didn't get counted, and so this is a battle for truth, for transparency, for fairness. And thank you for joining the battle. So we are not done, but we're getting there. So the Supreme Court still has my lawsuit, as far as I know. I'm still not getting it back, which is a good sign. That means they are on our side. And I've got the FBI working on it, and the CIA, and perhaps some other agencies too. So, I thank all of you for working in the background too, to bring truth and justice and transparency and fairness to our country again, because this is what's needed. We have this thing called the Constitution. It's for all the people, and a lot of it lays out what our rights are, and a lot of us don't know what our rights are, and I'm trying to help us learn what they are, and I'm trying to help our states learn what they are. But actually, it's not even the states. I'm trying to help the Democrats and the Republicans, because they have decided they're going to tell us what our rights are. But that's a lie. They have no right to tell us what our rights are, because it's clear what our rights are if you read the document. Now, I know most Democrats and Republicans read it way back when they were studying politician school, and they skipped over probably some of it. And then they took that oath, and when they took the oath, they promised, to God that, they're going to follow the Constitution and defend it. But see, a lot of them are believers in the Christian God, which gives them all the right in the world to sin, because that's what Christianity is all about, sinning. So if you're follower of Jesus, Jesus died so that you can sin, and that is how a lot of people look at it, and sadly probably a lot of the politicians. So Jesus died so I can sin, and no matter what sin I do, if I just say I'm sorry, I can go to heaven. And so it's great to have a forgiving imaginary friend. But when you swear to uphold the Constitution, and you swear that to your God, and if your God happens to be this Jesus fellow, then basically you're saying, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want to hear, but you're basically, allowing people to lie and cheat and steal, because Jesus forgives. He died for your sins. So if you're a sinner, if you're lying and cheating and stealing, it's okay, according to Jesus, according to Christianity. I mean, not according to Jesus, but according to Christianity, as long as you say you're sorry. And, that's all fine and dandy. And yes, a lot of thieves are sorry after they've done something wrong. And a lot of thieves are just saying they're sorry when they're not sorry after doing something wrong. But the point is that when you're dealing with people's lives, you just shouldn't be doing anything wrong. The power of being a political person, when you have lives in your hands, it's a very powerful position, and there's no room for lying, cheating, and stealing. It's called integrity, folks. It's called ethics. And if you don't have those, you should not be in political office. And that is exactly where the problem is. We have had Christian nationals trying to run the United States into a Christian national direction for at least 100 years, and I'm done with it. It's got to stop. Our Constitution clearly states we are a godless country. People can have God all they want, but not our country. We are no longer missionaries for Jesus and Christ and Christianity. No. We are not missionaries for anything. We do not go out and force people to our beliefs. People have a right to believe what they want to believe. They have a right to be who they want to be as long as they're not hurting anybody. But as soon as you start lying, cheating, and stealing, you're hurting others. And it's not tolerated, especially not in political office. So ethics and integrity are a must. We cannot hire people without them anymore. They're running our country to the ground. They're blocking other people, good people, from getting into office. And this is unacceptable. So, as you know, they're blocking me and my vote. It could be that they're blocking you and your vote. I mean, you know, we all voted. Some people voted, like me, a provisional ballot without being registered, but some people are on that registration list. And some of those names we already know are fake. And we've heard this whole year about how many, you know, so far Texas has more than 1 million, or they had more than 1 million. I don't think they were allowed to take those off, so, you know, I don't know if those people voted or not. But they were foreigners who were voting since the 90s. Then in West Virginia, we had, in our small little state, we had 380,000 names on ours that were illegal that were voting. So what's it like in your state, folks? And I'm going to say a lot of these leaders of our states are Democrats and Republicans, and they're Christians. So that means they have no qualms about lying to you straight-faced and getting away with it. So I asked everybody to vote them out. I hope you did, but sadly, I mean, we didn't have much of a choice, I know. So let's see if the Supreme Court makes a ruling on my lawsuit and grants it and declares that registering to vote is unconstitutional, which means that all registered to vote votes should not be counted because we don't know who they belong to. We already found out in one state that illegal people voted, so non-citizens voted, but their ballots were already counted and into the system via early voting, and there was no way to figure out which ones they were, so they had to stay. So we already know that there's fraud in the system. So, I mean, you know, I don't think the Supreme Court can look at themselves in the mirror and not make a good ruling on my lawsuit. It is just time to change our system and to have transparency. This is not acceptable. No. So, yeah. Yeah. So that's the campaign update right now. I'm going around thanking you for voting for me, thanking you for becoming unregistered, and even if you stayed registered and voted for me, I thank you. But they quite possibly changed your vote to somebody else. I've only had one place send me anything about write-in votes. Not that they were for me, but just a message. I haven't reached out to anybody yet, but I'm going to now, since I know all the votes are in. So this week I'll try calling and seeing if I got anything. And then I have to maybe do a new lawsuit because the fact that they refused to count my vote in West Virginia as a citizen is it's different from my other fraud cases for the election process, and so this is should set a precedent then for all the states, and we got to get the Democrats and Republicans out. So, you know, the Green Party is a good party. In West Virginia we have a Green Party called the Mountain Party. So I think I'm going to be going over there and seeing if I can straighten that party out. But technically, we don't really have to be in a party. But it does help a little bit. But I really recommend everybody leave the Democrat and the Republican Party and go to the Green Party, or maybe we need to just set up a new party, because I don't think you really want to be associated with either of the two big ones right now. They're going to go down, sadly. It's just unacceptable not to count U.S. citizen votes. So, yeah. So now, other things are, I was talking to somebody recently, and they were wondering, why girls pluck their eyebrows. And I'm going to say it's actually not just girls, certainly not anymore, but even before that, I don't think it was girls always. So what's gone on in our country is we've had a lot of men dressing like women for a long time. I think it's just always been, and we just didn't know it, or it's been on the acting and artistic side and the ballet side, but we just never knew it. So then, what happens is when men want to dress like a woman to make themselves seem less masculine, they pluck their eyebrows. And it makes them smaller, the eyebrows smaller and a little less noticeable, more feminine. On the other hand, too, if you're raised with a lot of ridicule from your parents about your looks, you might pluck your eyebrows, or also from friends. I mean, bullying does a lot and makes women or men and women do things to their looks. And I know when I was a kid, I plucked my eyebrows, but I did it because I wanted to be like my sister. And my sister was plucking her eyebrows. I'm not sure why. So I was just being a little sister. And then once I did it a couple of times, I realized, some hair is not growing back. And at the beginning, I was thinking that was cool that it wasn't growing back. But then thick eyebrows became a fashion statement, and I wanted to go back to my thick eyebrows, and they never grew all back in. So I lost a lot of, eyebrow density from plucking. So once you pluck and perhaps overpluck, sometimes the hair will not grow back anymore. So, yeah, plucking is not, truthfully, it's not necessary. Some women are embarrassed by some of the hair that they have, and then men who want to be like women might take away hair to look more feminine. And especially like men who are just wanting to be women, or men who are, maybe it's their job where they might be a police officer, but instead of using a real woman, they use a man as a woman. Or a spy can also be a man dressed like a woman, because I think that's a lot of what might have been happening maybe during World War II. So anyways, plucking eyebrows, it depends too on what the fashion is. Who's the popular female of the time? Who's everybody sort of idolizing? And then people want to emulate them. But then, like I said too, if parents are ridiculing their children about their looks or something, it could be an escape to have control over themselves and their lives, depending on how demanding the parents are. Or at school, if you're being picked on, you might try to look better, and so you do things, but Oftentimes when we do it ourselves, we go too far and take too much. Yeah. So anyways, currently for me, I have stopped plucking my eyebrows. I can't even remember the last time I did. What I do have to do now at my age is occasionally they start growing really long. So I have to cut them off because otherwise it's more like hair than it is an eyebrow. And then it gets curly and funny. So anyway, so sometimes I have to cut my hair but not pluck it. And they're sort of in a good shape now anyways, so I don't have to do anything. But for a long time I regret plucking my eyebrows. So I highly recommend just everybody being how they were created, and the rest of the people need to start accepting people for who they are. It's not you, it's the rest of them. It's the rest of us who are not accepting you the way you were created. And, getting back to the concept of God, I mean, if God created you in his image, or created you at all, then aren't you perfect? So then why would you change anything about you if you're a God believer? Because God created you. Now, for me, I'm an atheist, so I think my parents created me. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm perfect. And I can honestly tell you, I am far from perfect. But I just, I don't have that belief that I am perfect and that God created me perfectly. So, technically I could change things, and I even fell down as a kid and broke my nose, and I have a deviated septum, and I was told my insurance would cover it when I was 16 to get it fixed, and I said no. I just, it's okay, I just accept what's happened in my life and to me, and this is how it is. I mean, as you see, I have done some tattooing on me, but very minimal. So, I'm trying not to change me too much, but a little bit is also okay. And this is my daughter put this tattoo on me, so it's sentimental. It's not just anybody or anything. It's sentimental. But yeah. So I don't know. Start accepting yourself for who you are. That's where we really need to begin. And whether or not you're a God believer, nature made you perfect. You are made the way you were made for a purpose, and nature is always trying to improve on its creation. And so anything that happened in your world, in your body, in your life, is nature trying to improve the species. Now, whether it works or not, I don't know. But that is the case. So the sooner you accept yourself as nature created you, then the better. Yes, we can change things, but I don't think we should change things too much. And I think messing around with our bodies is not truthful, because if you are you and you have a baby, your baby will be born with whatever you were naturally born with, a portion of you and a portion of this person you created this baby with. So all the flaws that you had, even though you tried to hide them in your lifetime, will be there again when you create that next generation. So, how important is it to have a perfect nose or perfect eyebrow or perfect breasts or anything like that, especially if it's fake? And the last thing I can say is that if you have a breast operation done and it's with real breast material, which I think is what's going on in today's world, The other person whose breast you're getting are somebody who is not clinically dead. They've discovered that you cannot do organ donating from a dead person. They have to be alive. And I want to say this, that I was recently in my Department of Motor Vehicles at the DMV in West Virginia, and when I first went in there back in January 2021 to get my driver's license, my U.S. driver's license again, I was in the waiting room there, and they had signs everywhere: become an organ donor, put it all over your driver's license, become an organ donor. And ever since I realized that they had started to kill or injure people so that they could get organs from them, I started telling people, take it off your driver's license, because lots of people have access to information about you on your driver's license. Not only the police, but of course everybody at the DMV. And then if you go into a bar and you show your ID, your driver's license for your birth date, they can see organ donor. So you are being targeted at this point for your organs. And it's not acceptable. There's a lot of money in organs, and for a lot of people, life is cheap. And if they can get a couple of thousand up to $1 million for an organ, they're going to do it. And this is the sad reality. And I'm going to take this one step further. So they find out now, I believe, that taking organs from a dead person, they don't last as long as if you take it from a live person. So that's why cancer departments are so popular now. So this is my suggestion to anyone out there. A, take care of your own kidneys and your own liver, and stop taking people's kidneys and livers. You need to take care of yourself. The rest of the world is not here to keep an alcoholic drinking who's getting one liver after another that they're going to damage and destroy. And basically that means that they're killing people, other people, to keep these certain people alive. And this is not acceptable. But I think the truth is that a lot of these cancers, breast cancer for one, might not be 100% accurate. And if you are diagnosed with any cancer, you need to get a second opinion. It might not be true. They might be out to harvest whatever organ it is they say that you have an issue with. They might be out to take that organ and give it to somebody else. Or, in the case of some of these mistaken organ removals, they might know all along that they want that other organ, but they tell you that it's the pancreas they're going for when they actually want something else out of you. So when you're asleep, sadly, no one's there to defend you. And the doctors are no longer taking that oath of office. So we need to start having them go back to the beginning, take that oath. We need to check out these cancer departments, because I don't think some of them are on the up and up, especially breast cancer. I think they are removing healthy breasts from certain women and putting them on men, perhaps, or women who are not satisfied with their own breasts. And this is called cosmetic surgery, and it's not acceptable. People, you need to accept who you are. I accept you. Your family needs to accept you. Your country needs to accept you. And we need to move forward, because this is just, it's not right. It's not right. But first, take organ donor off your driver's license. Go to the DMV, Get a new driver's license. Tell them to take that off. Don't register to vote when you're at the DMV either through that stupid computerized registering to vote thing, because that doesn't work. And it's all illegal what's going on in the background there. So just don't do it. Say no to everything. Just give me a freaking driver's license. That's what you want to tell the DMV. You just want a driver's license. Okay. So, what you can see on my face is I've got a little, like, something here and something here. I don't know what happened. But sadly, I don't have any makeup. So I could cover that up with a little concealer, but I don't really have makeup anymore. So anyway, it looks like I got these funny spots on my face right now. So it's okay. You know, sometimes these little boo-boos pop up and they're here for a little while and then they go away. I'm doing an Egyptian eye treatment right now. So that's why I seemingly have some eyeliner on. I don't know if it's working. I'm going to try it for a little while and see if anything changes. And then I'll let you know. But yeah. So that's it. You know, it's again a big town hall. I cover some important topics. I don't know about other religions, so I can't say if other religions are like Christianity, where you're sort of, it's legalized sinning, so to speak. And it should not be. That's not how the religion was created, actually. And it was never how it was intended to be used, but it is exactly how it's being used today to justify all sorts of activity that's illegal. That's cheating, lying, all sorts of these things. So, yeah, all right. So there we go. So this is my town hall for today, campaign update. You know, as far as the future goes, I'm going to continue to go around thanking everybody, and then I have some lawsuits to write, and then we'll move forward as a country and hopefully bring about some good change. And let's see what the states have to say. I mean, let's see what the Democrats and Republicans are going to allow us to do in the future, because we don't have control. So it's whatever the Democrats and Republicans want to do. Let's see what they want to do. Okay. So again, thank you for your vote. Thank you for becoming unregistered. Please become a non-organ donor, and do not register when you do that. Just say no to everything and just get a driver's license without organ donating on it. Then, yeah, I'll catch you on Wednesday. I'll be back here to chat with you a bit more. If something emergency-wise comes up in between, I'll make a video. Did you find out, like I did, that there are UFOs? I mean, we all knew there were UFOs, but now it's official. The government has declared there are UFOs. So we are not alone. It's exciting. Let's find out what's going to happen next. Okay. So, and we got Donald Trump's sentencing this week. So it's going to be a big week. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good day until then, and a good week until then. Have a good start to your week. And you can check out, if you don't know about me and what I'm doing, check out me on my website, susan4usa.com. That's Susan, the number 4, usa.com. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to this channel so that you can catch my YouTube videos when they first come out and be alerted whenever I'm doing something there. And that's about it. All right. We're getting there, folks. We're changing things. The DMV, like I said, at least in my little area of West Virginia, they are no longer promoting becoming an organ donor. Check out your own DMV and let me know if you notice that too, if they don't have organ donating signs. And if they have them, tell them to take them down, because organ donating on a driver's license is a bad idea. Okay, that's really it. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.